Hi everyone, my name is Yana. Welcome to my channel. I'm one of the registered nurses here in Queensland and you are watching one of my nursing content. So I believe you are either thinking about starting nursing career, or maybe you are already a current student, or maybe you are a started nurse. So in today's video I want to talk about positive aspects of becoming a nurse or being a nurse in general, and I also want to highlight why I love my profession so much. In my last video I have talked about negative aspects of being a nurse, because I genuinely believe that when you are choosing a profession for yourself, you need to know about disadvantages and advantages of that field, so that you can make your decision clearly if you want to proceed or not. So if you want to watch that video, I will link for you the link to that video in the description box below. Go and check it out. And in today's video I want to highlight 15 different points why I think nursing is great for you. Okay, so the first one is helping others and having that rewarding feeling. I strongly also believe that majority of the nurses who go into this field have that personal skill and satisfaction of helping others. I mean, like, if you would not like helping other people, if you won't have a passion for it, desire for it, I don't think you would actually choose this profession or even last long in this profession, because nursing is all about helping other people, making changes, positive changes in their lives. And what it brings with it is this feeling of satisfaction, feeling of joy, happiness, when you see that you made life of other person easier, you saved someone else's life, you healed someone as well with the help of other team members in this field. But let me tell you, it's a great feeling and you will have it very often. So that was my first point. The second point is continual educational opportunities in this field. So if you work, for example, in a public sector hospital, okay, the first thing that is just lying not too far away from you is swapping wards in your own hospital. If you, let's say, started working in a surgical ward and you have stayed there for a year or two and you feel like it's not enough for you, you want to learn something more, you want to try something else, see if you can be swapped in your own hospital. You can go from a surgical ward to a medical ward, you can go to the ED department, you can go to the palliative care unit, you can go to the rehab. And when I'm talking about surgical wards, I mean different type of surgical wards. We have a general surgical ward, we have an ortho ward, we have a neurosurge. There are different types of surgical wards according to the surgeries and problems and the health conditions that the patients have. So you can try to rotate yourself within your hospital to try different wards. Also, if you want to go into teaching as well, you can apply for something like a clinical facilitator. If you've been working for 4 to 5 years on your ward or in general in that hospital, you can start to take students, apply for a position of a clinical facilitator. They usually run it between like 3 to 4 weeks contracts, because this is the amount of time that usually students come to our wards. So you can take a group of students from the particular university and facilitate them for that period of time. It's so much fun. You guide them, you teach them, you answer their question, you debrief with them, you assess them during this period of time, and you might have like from 5 to 8 students spread in different wards, and all what you do the whole day is just go and supervise them, guide them and monitor them. It's a really fun thing to do, and also you learn together with them. You share your knowledge and you learn together as well. This is something that maybe I will do in the future. The next one is the travel possibilities. Okay, you can work rural, and when I'm talking rural, you can work with indigenous people, you can work also in cruises, you can also work with fly doctors, which is so amazing as well. And rural, it doesn't only mean within Australia. You can go to Tasmania as well. If it's a cruise, you can travel in the nearest islands as well. And your contracts may vary from 2-3 months to half a year, depending what type of place you go to work at. Like for example, my friend now who is working with me on the same ward just left a month ago to Tasmania. I think he went there, if I'm not mistaken, for 2.5 months contract. His flight tickets were paid, his accommodation was paid, and he wants to take a week in the end when his contract is finished to travel around Tasmania as well. The pay when you work rural is different. It's much higher from your normal hourly rate when you work here in a city. Plus, if your organization providing for you travel costs covered and your accommodation is just perfect, it's perfect. Because put it that way, a lot of us here have either mortgages or leases. So for example, for me, if I would want to go and take a contract of 2 months to work somewhere rural, while I'm there I still have to pay my lease. I'm not the type of person who would be letting strangers to come into my house and live for 2 months here using all my belongings and everything. So I would keep my house private, but I will need to pay my lease here. So if I have an organization which is covering my accommodation expenses, it's sweet, it's just perfect. So just consider those possibilities as well. The next one is a salary. Salary is great for nurses, and when people tell you that nurses don't get paid enough, yes, it might be true, but yet still in the end of the day, if you're starting as a registered nurse after graduation, if you especially made your way to Queensland Health, you will start earning from 80k a year and above. Every year your salary will increase according to your experience. Plus, on the top of that, you will have a afternoon penalty rate, you will have Saturday penalty rate, which is 50%, afternoon is 12.5, you will have your Sunday. Queensland Health now has a double, so can you imagine you getting double pay on Sundays? Then you will have your night loads, which is a 20% on top of your hourly rate, and also you will have your rec leaves, which is 25% on the top of your base rate. So even when you want to take a holiday, it will be paid with 25% on top of that, not even including your holidays rates, like your Christmas triple, your Easter 2.5, ACA was just last week. All of this is a really good pay. Okay, the next one is the job outlook and increased demand in nurses. If you look at nursing field in the long run, you will always have sick people. I know it sounds sad, but that's the reality. Sick people will be always there, which means they will always need clinicians to look after them. We have always new aged care facilities opening up in every single area of Queensland. We have old hospitals expanding. For example, my own hospital, we just finished building a new emergency department last year, and we have added peds to it as well. Now it's beautiful, big, much bigger than it was before, and we are renovating now our left side of the hospital, expanding it to be larger, and then moving the old wards to there, and then renovating the empty side of the hospital on the right side. So I think they're promising by 2027 to finish the whole hospital. Look at the Caboolture hospital, it's been renovated. It took them nearly 3 years, but look at it now. The area around it with the residential houses is beautiful, and it's in Caboolture, right? Then you always have community services, disability services, and as I said, they always growing. So if you think about your profession in the long run, thinking of, will it cover my whole life? Will I be able to work until I go to pension time? Like, will I still be wanted? Will I have a job? Yes, you will, as long as your body can carry you, and if you are careful when you do your manual handling as a nurse, if you look after yourself, yes, then yes, you will have a job until you go to pension if you wish to work until that age. You never need to know, you never need to be scared that you will have no jobs like other fields have. Like, Queensland Health is not going to close down, okay? It will be always there. The next one is specialty possibilities. For example, your nursing diploma or your nursing bachelor degree covers a lot of perspectives for you, okay? It gives you opportunities to swap between different wards. It gives you opportunities to work in disability, community services, GP clinics. You can go to ED department if you want to as well. You can work in cosmetics as well. There is a lot of things you can do just having that one single degree. And also, if you want to go into research, if you want to work as a teacher or facilitator, that is there for you as well, which is great. The next one is career advancement, which is a little bit similar to the point that I just mentioned now, but this one is more like if you want to do an additional courses, like for example, if you want to go into teaching at TAFE, not just facilitating at the hospital, but if you want to become a teacher as a teacher at TAFE or at the university. For college, you can finish certificate 4 in assessment and training. For the university, you go for a higher degree. I think it's a year. I can't remember. I think it's called the learning something. Can't remember exactly. And then it will give you an opportunity to teach at the university as well. If you want to become a nurse practitioner, you can do your master's. For that reason as well, you can do your master's to become a NUM if you want to become a NUM on a ward. You can become a clinical nurse upon your experience, a team leader upon your experience as well. There is a lot of different career possibilities if you want to grow more higher in your career ladder. If you want to go up, you can choose whatever you want. It just depends on your passion, really. I think the more you work just as a registered nurse, starting, let's say, on a medical ward, on a surgical ward, wherever you have started, the more you see, the more you learn, the more you experience, it's opening up your eyes to what you want to do next. Where do you want to move to? Who do you want to become in this field? Do you want to progress more and take additional studies? Do you want to swap wards? Do you want to go into different direction? It's up to you. But the more you work, this is what I found for myself, the more my mind is expanding. The next one is a pride for vital life-saving role. Yes, and this is true. I think nursing job gives you pride at some point, because when you succeeded throughout your shift, when you have recognized signs of decline in your patient, especially if it's an infection, for example, or someone got something worsening and in their condition that they came with, you are the person as a nurse who always stay close to your patient, not the doctor. And you have this ability that's been given to you by the studies that you have done, this knowledge that you have gained through your bachelor, through your diploma, to know and understand and see those signs of decline. And when you saw them and you act upon it, you basically saved life, because when it comes to sepsis, for example, you need to act quickly. So by the end of the day, it gives you pride of being a nurse, being able to save lives of other people, being able to make changes, being able to heal others and help them, be there for them. So this is a really good feeling. And then coming out from this point is a professional recognition and having license to work as a nurse. I have so many friends of mine, and even my own partner, he always look at me with admiration for working as a nurse, for being a nurse in general. And also people, when they hear you that you're a nurse, they do respect you. They respect you for that fact that you look after other people. And looking after people is not always easy. You have dementing patients who are demanding on things. You have demented patients who have dementia. They can become a bit violent. You have people who come from overdose on drugs as well, so they can be aggressive and violent. Nursing is not always safe, but in the end of the day, you do so many positive changes to people, and other people do recognize you for that. And to work as a nurse, you need to get your license. So it's not an easy thing to become a nurse. You need to have a degree behind your shoulders, and you need to be able to finish that degree in a matter of way to be able to get your license as well. So it is very important too. And especially if you're a person who hasn't been born in Australia, you've been raised and lived your life to a certain point in a country which is not an English speaking country, you here need to do an English test, which If you are a foreign, if you're not Australian and you're on my channel, you know what I'm talking about. English tests like IELTS, it's very hard task to do, and you have to prep for it, and a lot of people failed multiple times before they actually pass it in order to get the license to work after all that hard work that they have done studying, finishing their diploma or their bachelor in order to get the license. So it's a very hard process, but yes, all of us do it to get the license. The next one is a flexibility in shifts and places you work. So as a nurse, I was actually talking to my friend about it the other day. As a nurse, I work AMs, I work PMs, and I work nights. And I told her that if I would be working just my regular morning hours in a regular job from Monday to Friday every single week, I would get bored so easy. First of all, I'm not a kind of person who likes to wake up early morning for early morning shifts every single week, especially if it's winter time. It's super cold outside, it's dark when you wake up. It's not like summer. You literally wake up into a complete darkness. You have to go to your car, you have to drive on the road when there's nobody there, and it's super dark and it's super cold, and I just hate it. But as a nurse, every single month I have a rotating roster, which gives me opportunities to do different times of my shifts, morning, afternoons and nights, and I never feel bored. And also flexibility in the places, okay, and additional shifts. So for example, I'm on 7 shifts at my hospital currently with Queensland Health, 7 shifts every fortnight. The rest of the time I can pick up shifts at the same hospital if I want to, or I can pick up shifts at my aged care, or I can go and put myself in a casual pool with one of the agencies, or I can apply for another hospital in my area and put myself there in a casual pool. Like, I have a control how many more additional shifts to pick up to my existing 7, and I also have a control where to go and pick them up from, which is great. So I love this flexibility. As I said, I never feel bored. The second one is job satisfaction, from the pay, from the flexibility of your shifts, from helping others, and also from the professional recognition. And this is true. I do have this job satisfaction, even on the days when I have a hard shift, on the days when I'm tired after night shift. I still, if any of you or anyone else would ask me, do you regret becoming a nurse? I would never say yes. Never. Because I am not. I love my profession so much that even with all the downsides that I've mentioned in my previous video about negative sides of nursing, I still love my profession. And I think like the positive sides, they're outweighing the negative sides for me personally. The next one is working with diverse array of people, and this includes your doctors, different types of doctors, your physicians, your dietitians, your social workers, also your patients themselves. We have so many different patients from different multicultural backgrounds. They come speaking different languages, they come with different cultures. It's so fun. Like, I remember one of my patients recently, she was from France. She came to visit her 2 sisters here who live in Australia permanently. She lives in France. She came on a holiday and she got sick. She had a cellulitis in her legs, so she ended up in my ward, and her English was not so good, but it was enough to express herself for us to understand her, and also for her to understand us. But her sisters, they had much better English, obviously, because they live in here. So one of them would come earlier on a day, and then the other one would come usually at evening when she finished her work, and they would sit there and chat to me anytime I would come to care for her, for my patient. And I swear, by the end of the shift, I had a French accent. It was so funny. But it was so interesting to talk to them. Like, they would tell me stories about their life when they used to be kids growing in France, and she would tell me about her life in France there. Like, we would talk about food, about transport, about places to go to if I want to ever go to France. It was so good. Like, apart from just caring for the person and doing like a clinical part from your side, you can also have conversations, you can have the friendly talks, you know, and it adds fun to your shift. It does. And it's interesting because you meet so many different people. It just makes your work more fun, more interesting, you know. It's a good experience to add to your life. Like, I love talking to people. I'm a very talkative person. So talkative, yeah, I talk a lot. Okay, the next one is shift scheduling options, and this one is similar to shift flexibilities. So what I have in my hospital, and I believe other hospitals probably have the same system as well, so we have a rotating roster every single month, but before that month will come out for us, our NAM will give us opportunity to cross out 4 different days every month on which we can't pick up shifts. Like, for example, if you know that one of the birthdays coming of one of your family members, if you have an important event, if you have an important appointment scheduled for you, or if you need to travel somewhere for 4 days, whatever, you can spread those 4 days either in a row, or you can spread them according to the whole month, or you can only cross out 2, and that's about it. If you think you don't need more, you can only cross out 2. If, like, let's say, like, you have your birthday and your son's birthday, and that's about it. Or if you want to add additional day after the birthday so you won't come to work, you can cross out there as well. So you can have some rest if you're gonna have some drinks, or if you need to clean the house after the party, whatever. So you have this 4 days that you can cross out every single month. And then also shift swaps. If, for example, something urgent come up, the roster has been already done, you're working through your months, and then sometime through the half of the month something came up, your son got sick, or some important appointment came up, or your car started to have problems, you needed to take it to the mechanic, and the mechanic scheduled during a particular day, and that day is the day where you are working, you can swap with your colleagues. Just speak to the team and just say, hey, I can't work, something came up on the day, can you take my day and I take your day, and just see who you can swap with. And usually most of people are really flexible and they will swap with you, so you don't lose your pay, you don't lose your hours. If you don't have sick leave, this is very useful when you just do swaps with your colleagues. So I find this very comfortable actually, and I love this option. And also you can request shifts as well. For example, if you want to work more mornings or more weekends, you can also request that, and then your NAM, he might give you a little bit extra weekends or a little bit extra mornings, but he will still balance everyone out. But you can still do requests, and he might give you part of that request, not maybe fully what you have requested, but partly he will give it to you, and this is great as well. And then the last one that I want to mention is day-to-day variety. So as I said, you will have different multicultural backgrounds of patients, but also add to it different health conditions that they're presenting with, different treatment options as well. You will have different medications to learn as well. And every single shift, I feel like I learned something new. On my ward, because I work in a general medicine ward, we have 7 different directions. We have 7 different medical teams working on my ward. We have gastro, we have oncology, we have medical general, then we have surgical, we have respiratory team working with us. You name it. We have so many different teams, which means I have so many conditions coming into my ward, medical conditions presenting with my patients. So I learn every single day. I learn what symptoms they're presenting with, what medications we choose to treat them with, what other types of cares we provide to make them feel better. It's very, very interesting, because you need to know those things. And if you in the future would want to move to a different ward, the skills that you will gain from working in a ward like mine, for example, general medicine ward, will be very important and very vital for you, because you will transfer those skills into your new role in a different ward. So I think I'm very blessed by working in where I work at the moment. But yes, I love learning everything new. I really like it. And this is what's nursing about. Every single day you learn something new, and this is why your salary increase every year as well. And Queensland Health recognize that for it, because they know that every year the nurse grows professionally so much from the previous years. And this is true, and it's good that they pay us every year a little bit more, because we gain more experience upon our knowledge. So guys, these are the 15 different aspects that I wanted to mention for you in this video. If you have more to add, please feel free to do that in a comment section below. If you have stories to share or your opinion as well, feel free to do that. I'm reading every single comment of yours, and I think by now we have a really good community here on my channel with all the nurses and the students, and I really like all of you guys. And as I said, I do enjoy reading your comments. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!